let's make a screen printed tote bag. So first things first, I go ahead and give it a little bit of a heat press just so we can get any extra moisture out. It also helps smooth the surface a little bit before we get started, and it's a very satisfying thing to watch. Look how smooth that bitch is now, ready to go. And while I'm very aware that I could do this the traditional style and use emulsion and all that shit, I am lazy and I don't want to have to worry about getting every single one of those steps right. So I made a Cricut stencil just to make my life a little bit easier. Peeling it's kind of a bitch, but I don't know if you've ever tried to screen print traditionally. That's also kind of a bitch. So this is what we're doing for this one. And what I hadn't realized yet is that I am about to do this really terribly wrong. After I got the last of the backing of my vinyl off, I ended up putting my stencil on the wrong side of the screen, and it took me way too long to figure it out. In fact, I went ahead and did a test print on the shirt, which lucky for me, I do test prints just to make sure that my stencils aren't shitty. And it was after I lifted this that I realized I had put the stencil on backwards. So we're gonna watch me do it wrong. After I got my stencil on, again, on the wrong side of the screen, I went ahead and taped my edges, which now that I know that I did it wrong, I was like, why is this not going on correctly? It feels way more difficult than it usually is. Why is there not enough space? Why am I having to tuck it under the edges of this frame? And it's because I normally don't do that, because normally all of this goes on the other side, and my cocky ass, like, just went for it full speed. Still not realizing my mistake and moving full speed ahead, I pulled out my red Speedball ink and I gave it a nice little stir, and then we went ahead and did the print. After getting a generous amount of ink on there, I grab my squeegee and I go for the spread. And I'm notorious for not putting enough pressure on the frame. I have little hands and I honestly can't cover my bases all that well, so I end up doing extra passes, and it can sometimes look a little excessive. But the few times that I haven't done as many passes as I normally do, I always end up with these blotchy sections. So you're gonna have to excuse me. I do multiple passes. I'm so sorry. And once I feel like I've adequately spread the ink around, I lift my screen, and this was about the time that I realized I had fucked it up. I was looking at it and I said, shit. So I had to make a new stencil, and I mean, this was enough to let me know that the design was gonna get nice crisp lines, so that was something. But yeah, I had to reprint everything, weed everything, set up a new screen, and this is the final product. I did get it right the second time, and you know, trial and error, it's life, but here's the design.